Hello and welcome back to Dwarf Fortress, and well, we are going to go in towards the metal industry. Now, I've had a few little touch-ups of my fort during the break. I've basically completed a few things. You can see we've got massive amounts of ducklings now, so I've started collecting the eggs because really we've had a big duck explosion, and if you're not on top of this thing, it will just go ape, and you'll have ducks going crazy everywhere, and you can hear that the creatures are kind of fighting each other. The drake childs are fighting, etc. So it can become an issue. The bone area is also filled, so we've done a job to make some bone bolts. You can see I'm getting more rock pots going, a couple of wooden barrels, coffers, cabinets. And if we delve down deeper on, we can see that I've actually expanded out these two sides. What I'm hoping is that the grass in here, you can see the shrubbery is actually growing. I'm hoping the grass is going to expand into these two areas, which will give me a much bigger open air farm, and maybe eventually, I don't know, maybe eventually a pasture underground. Possibly. There's quite a few things you could do there. If we look at our stocks, we can also see that the stocks are now more precise. So if we go across the stocks, because we've put bookkeeper, if we go back to it, bookkeeper, you press S and you put him on all accurate counts, and I've took him off all of the walking, etc., so he's not really doing anything but counting stocks. The stocks are now 100% accurate. So you've got two figures. You've got the left hand side of what you've got and the red side of what is actually placed. So if we go down to drinks, for some reason there's 10 Longland beer that's down as dump. I don't know why. We'll actually take that off. I don't know why that's on dump, but there we go. And again with the seeds, I guess they are placed somewhere. They're actually there in the ground. It's like the handwear. We've got various things actually forbidden for some reason. So I'm going to remove the forbid on. I just need to make sure that yeah, that's it. So you can go through these things and just make sure they're not for some unknown reason. They could be. These are things that I've just bought, actually. I need to make sure I'm not stealing straight off a trader, which may be leaving the map. I just got to make sure that they're not going to run after some trader and start robbing his wares. No, they're not. So we've got a bunch of animals now, so that's growing. You can see there's a lot more alpacas up here as well. I've actually killed off the donkeys because frankly they were causing too many problems. I've also built the traction tables in here now, so you need the mechanism and a chain. A rope will do, a pigtail rope, something like that. So that's going to work in the hospital now. If we look at our zone in the hospital zone area, and you can look at the hospital information, the shift H. You can now see that I've got plenty of thread in there. Could do with a bit more. Lots and lots of cloth, splints, crutches, enough powder, and buckets. I haven't got any soap at the moment though because we haven't made any. But we've also got the 5 beds, 5 tables, 3 traction tables, and 5 boxes and bags. So that is a fully functional hospital. We have our chief medical dwarf, so everything's up and running. I've also added to the military. I've had another migration wave, so I've stuck about another 4 guys in there. So we've got 6 guys in the military now, slowly training up. Also, we have some hunters going around. They'll kind of go around and do their own thing. We may well turn them into marks dwarves later on, so they can be archers, etc. What else have we done? Well, you can see that I've also tidied up a fair bit of the rocks. I've kind of tried to clear them all out. I've made little dumping zones. And if you do dump, so if it's D designation, B for whatever the hell B is for, set building and item properties, and then D to dump items. So you dump, you just select your area, you'll say I want to dump everything in that area. So if there's rocks, it will go okay, they'll highlight pink and they'll get rid of them. Now if you've already set a zone up, which is I, and say you want to set a garbage zone up here, you do enter again, so and then just make it a garbage dump with G, and that will be a garbage dump there now. So if we go I again, you can see there is a zone here. We actually want to remove it because we don't want the garbage dump there, and I'm also going to remove that zone there now. So what we want to do, we also want to claim these rocks that we've gathered up. You can see here we've gathered them all into this one part, so D, B and C to reclaim. You can see it highlights green. I'm going to press enter on it twice, and now they can be used again. If you don't do that, those rocks can't be used. They're forbidden items, and the dwarves will never touch them. So you can see that I've done it on the few levels. I've basically tidied up my industry areas. So let's get started on the And there's my lower levels, my new bedroom areas. You can see I've also placed the cabinets in the bedroom, so now they have a cabinet, a bed, and a chest. So that's pretty much all the dwarf will ever need as standard dwarf. The economy is actually broken. When I say economy, I mean like the gold coin system that used to be in it. That's not currently in the game. That was removed, so that's going to be fixed for later on. So let's get the armor smith working up. That's what we want. We want weapons, armor. So first of all, we want to build, and we want to build a furnace. So it's not a workshop, it's a furnace, which is E, I believe. Yep, there it is. So B and E to get a furnace, and we want wood furnaces. We've got no magma, so we won't worry about that. We want lots of wood, so we'll use wood. So let's get a wood furnace, and let's place the wood furnace. Doesn't matter where. We are going to place it down the bottom here, though, so why not? So we'll make it out of siltstone. That sounds good, and I'll put another one over here because these guys are going to be working their asses off. We also want a smelter, so we'll put the smelter over here. So we want, actually no, we'll put the smelter with the ore stack. If you can see, I've actually made that stack here, and that is all the hematite and limonite that I had, which is stacked there now. So that's all in that place. I just said I purely want these things here, so they've stacked it all up. So we'll build that out of quartzite and another smelter there. And finally, we don't want to worry about a glass furnace and a kiln unless we've got. You need sand for a glass furnace to make the glass. For the kiln is using clay. You can use gather clay. So if you've got a clay level, we have peat up here, so we've got no clay around. But if there was clay, you could set a point to gather it, and then you just set a storage. And now basically you have to tell it the area, set the area to gather it. That's a different story though, so you can check that out. It's pretty easy to do, really. Once you can get the grasp of metal making in industries, most industries are fairly straightforward. If you're ever sure, like I say, check out Magma Wiki. It is the Bible of Dwarf Fortress. So again, we want a metalsmith now, so B and W, and a metalsmith. We finally want to get around to that forge. So there is a Metalsmith Forge. Now this requires the anvil, like I said. So this is the iron anvil that we brought with us, and we can make it out of siltstone. So I can't make another one because I need another anvil. So as it is at the moment, I don't think we really have anything worthy of fluxstone. So we can make iron, but I'm not too sure we can make any pig iron for steel. Could be a problem, but for now iron will do. That'll get our industry, our weapons going. Wow, look at all this cloth. I've just enabled it downstairs. One of those items that are actually forbidden. I guess I've been buying it all and it's been storing up in these bags up here. Safe to say I need some more bins. And they're going to bring some more bins down now. You can see they bring a bin down in it. It really does display just how many items can fit in the one bin. So when a bin gets placed there, and then suddenly, bang, 10 items get stuck in that bin. I really am clearing up this cloth quite heavily. This isn't my cloth storage, so this will be my cloth manufacturing. But for now, we are building these wood smelters. So what we want here, we want a wood storage down the bottom here. For now, we've got lots and lots of wood up top. You may have your wood storage. If we go up, we can see I've got a lot of wood down there, so they can always just pull it down from there. I've also ordered my my lumberjacks to go out and fell the whole forest down, so you can see I'm going to start chopping down the area. Oh, someone's saying no. You can't store a bin, okay, not to worry about that. If you're ever unsure on what you've got items, always just check your storage. So I'm checking my storage, I can see the furniture, I've got lots of bins, so I don't need to go and make it load more bins. And wow, these guys are really getting quite busy now, my idlers are not sticking around, which is good. So, now, for now, I might as well show it straight. You can obviously do it via your manager, but what we want to add a new task, and we want to make charcoal. We don't worry about ash, that's a different industry. We want charcoal. So for metal we need lots and lots and lots and lots of charcoal, which is why everybody that you've probably seen everywhere is raving about magma, because it removes that aspect of needing to burn wood. You need to burn a piece of wood to make charcoal. You need to burn a piece of wood to smelt the hematite or the whatever iron ore you want. And then you finally need, I think you need another piece of charcoal for the actual combining. So we've not built that metalsmith, so I'm just wondering if we've got one. We have not constructed that yet. Why have they not constructed that? I guess we'll find out. So here we go. We've got a wood burner here. Now we've got our 2 wood burners. And what they're going to do, they're going to start churning out charcoal. So we need an area to store bars and blocks, which is B. So let's make this area here, bars and blocks. And bars and blocks is basically what, if you go down and look at the detail of it, you can see this they've just put a block of charcoal there. If we look at the settings, we can see for bars and blocks, well, we actually don't want metal bars here. We want that further up. So we're gonna forbid the metal bars. You can also have other material. We don't really want potash and ash in there, but it doesn't matter. We can keep it like that for now. We don't want blocks of clay either, so I'm going to get rid of that. We don't want blocks of metal. All we want really in going in here, we don't want the glass either. We simply want the coal, which is coke or whatever you want to call it. That's all we want going in there. I just want to double check I'm not going to block anything else that I possibly might need. No, nothing else. I purely want that. So I'm actually going to remove all the others as well. All I want going in here is coal. So that's all that will go in there now. So that's, when I say coal, I mean it's actually down as coal on the list, but it's actually charcoal. So it's charcoal being listed there. So that is the charcoal now being created. Let's move on to the smelters. So that's the charcoal started. Now let's get on to the smelter. So what do we want to do? We want to add a new task at the smelter, and you can see it's highlighted now what we can and can't do. Basically the metals that are available to us. We've got hematite, it's the red stuff stored here. We've got limonite, that's the yellow stuff there. We've also got galena, which is actually lead stroke, also has a 50% chance of producing silver, I believe. So you can get, we've got a couple of bars. So what we want, and you see there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different things you can smelt. The main one being down the bottom there, adamantium. It is the best metal. So we're going to smelt some of our hematite ore. That's what we're going to do, and we want it to continually do that. So that will get the smelter down. So he's going to require charcoal. So there you go. You saw him grab the charcoal, grab the hematite, and now he's smelting it. So we need him to give him an area to also do that. So bars and blocks once again. As we're going to rotate round. Bearing in mind our Metalsmith will be at the top though, which currently hasn't built. I'll have a look at that in a second. So we want to set the settings in here. Same again, bars and blocks. We want just metal bars in here this time. We don't want any of that, so we're going to forbid that. Forbid the stone. Blocks of metal. That's actually blocks. Well, we're not worried about that because we want bars. We don't want blocks. Blocks, you can make a block and you can build buildings with it. Well, if you're really generous and you've got a lot of metal, then yeah, I guess you could do, but for now we just want metal bars, so that's what's going to go in there. We could also do the same for the metal workshop, I guess. There's no reason why not, but for now we'll keep them simply at the side. So there we go. He's these are actually the metal bars that we bought off the merchant. This is what he's bringing in here. So they're coming down from the merchant at the top there. Oh dear, I think oh, my leatherworker's just taken a fey mood. So we'll see what that comes off. So he's gone into the leatherworking workshop. Hopefully he's going to just grab a load of leather, which he's just done, and he's beginning construction. Brilliant. This is why I always buy things off the trader that I don't currently need. So I know I've got a leather workshop there. So now he's just going to construct that, and hopefully he'll come out as a legendary. Let's have a look at him for now. Hopefully he'll come out. He's currently a adequate leather worker, and he gets rusty. If they don't use the skill for a while, they become rusty at it. You know, their skills diminish, as you would expect. Oh, we're getting short on drinks, so let's queue up a bunch of brew drinks. We'll have 20 brew drinks. That'll use that up pretty strong. And so that is starting to build the bars. So here he goes, he's building bars, and he's just walked off to get a drink, but that bar is now going to get placed up here. So we have, if we look up at it, we have hematite bars in this bag. So if we go down to have a look at the bar bin, we have lead, which we bought, we have pewter, we have bronze, and we have the iron bars. There we go. So he's now smelting the iron bars. So now we need to look at why this is not building my forge. Okay, so it was pretty obvious. I didn't have a guy marked down as a blacksmith, and if you're ever wondering if it's not built, which you can see at the moment, it's still still waiting construction, but now he's coming along, he's building it. He's put the anvil down, and there is our metalsmith complete. So next up, we want to start building some armour. But first up, I actually want to build another anvil. So first thing we want to do is our metalsmith is complete. We have our single metalsmith. If you don't have one, feel free to give him a skill to anyone really that is a anything. But I mean, they can get better, but it's better if you've got a decent one. By now you've probably had about 40, 50 dwarfs or so, so you may well have got a top blacksmith come along. So what we actually want to do is create a component, I believe, which is out of iron, and we want to forge an iron anvil. So there we go. So hopefully our metalsmith will come along and forge the iron anvil. Meanwhile, this guy has made a great white shark leather left mitten. So we'd bought some great white shark leather, and it's actually made him a legend, I believe. So if we look at V, he is now a legendary leatherworker. So really, it's quite important to get these guys with these moods turned. Let's have a look at the artifact. So let's have a look at it. It's L for artifacts, remember. It's Atzel Odd, the Glade of Tunnels, a great white leather left mitten. Well, that's marvellous. Its value is 4,400. If we look at the description, this is a great white shark leather left mitt. All craftsdwarf's ship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with great white shark leather and encircled with bands of sheep leather and conger eel leather. That's a hell of a mix of leather, isn't it? I wasn't even aware sheep gave leather, but there we go. And conger eels. Well, there we go. That's an interesting mix of leathers right there. So that is, you can see our mace dwarfs are sparring, etc. So let's go down to our blacksmith, who has now created that forge, I believe. So now we're going to build another forge, another metalsmith shop. So forge, we need a fire safe anvil. We don't actually have one. Did he not build one there? Did he not come and build it? I thought he did. Maybe it was somebody else I was looking at. I don't know. Oh! Holy shit. That's a problem. We have an Ettin, so here we go. And this is because we've started getting higher in value. So now we've triggered a giant humanoid monster with 2 heads. It is an Ettin coming along. So we need to get kicking into action. So let's pause it, and I'm going to swing things into action as we take it from here. Okay, so despite screaming like a little girl, we're going to set some burrows up because we need our civilians to be inside while this all happens. So we want burrow 2. We're going to name it civilians as I turn the TV off. Civilians. And we're going to set this burrow up. We basically want to do it everywhere inside. Away from our defences, so the guys, this, you know, we don't want them to get hurt, but our poor little guys. I've got to keep them safe. I didn't want to set that, I've got to be honest. Let's set it from here to the corner there. So that'll be basically all our dwarves will stay away from this area. We kind of want them to be in the hospital because we need to look after the injured, so we're just going to stay away. In fact, well, they can go in there as well. They basically just want to stay away from the entrance. So we want to go down another level. We want to do the same, and you basically want to make the whole area that you expect your dwarves to be in. Now, this highlighting, you can cover anything, even if there's not a dugout area there. Don't worry about it. If you dig out afterwards, it will cover it, providing it's actually in your area. Now you're starting to see the benefit of why I build the way I do, because it makes setting up so much easier for this. It's very simple. The lower level is slightly bigger, but we don't worry about that. It's very easy and simple to cover the burrows. So there we go. So remember to expand them as you develop. So that's our burrow setup. So okay, and that's our civilian burrow. So what we want now is to go to our alert screen, which is in the military, and then alerts. We want our civilians basically to be in this position now. So we have the burrow over here, and we are under attack. So we want to move it to attack. We also want to move our military to attack. So we want them both active now. and we want our civilian population to get over there. That's long. I don't want that. I just want them. Civilians to now be in the attack burrow. That's correct. And we want our military, which is the military, because that's the second area, to be in there. I think that's correct. Might be wrong. Maybe. No, because attack's going to be the alert. The military's the burrow. We'll soon find out. So hopefully all of our guys will run in. We need them all to be running into this area. Oh, and they're actually gathering in the military zone. So with the not quite where we want them. We don't want all of our civilians gathering there. So let's go to the military and alerts. So we want our civilians to be in, not in the attack zone. That's for sure. We want our civilians to be active, but not our military. Our military wants to be. So they should now go into. There we go. They're going into the civilian area. We don't want them in there. So let's remove the military hole. So they shouldn't be anywhere near there. That's the point. Apart from the two guys that are sleeping. What we do want? We want to move our military. Now I'm going to use the attack move here. I think rather than we can see the beast coming in here. There's the Ettin. He's a legendary creature. And I think I'm going to let him come in a little bit closer. For some reason, all of my animals are gathered up here. Don't really know why. So now all of our civilians should be down, doing their jobs, back down in the holes, continuing on about their business, but as though nothing ever happened. Look, they're all just chilling. They don't really that worried about this beast that's coming towards them. So let's get our squad. So S. And we want the tin paddles. Now remember, I've added about 6 to. Well, I've added 4 to it, so there should be 6 tin paddles now. Skill-wise, they're not that great. They've been practicing a little while, but we're going to send them out to attack. We could just pull the drawbridge up, or we could just maybe hope that they're going to go across the traps. I'm still a little concerned that there's a couple of dwarves just sleeping, but nevertheless, we're going to send our dwarves out and tell them to attack, and there we go. So it's saying kill Zoc, whatever the hell he's called, and hopefully this won't go completely bad and I won't be humiliated live on video. I'm not sure. They're both just randomly sleeping there. That's marvellous. So here we go. The dwarves are going out and they're going to meet him in battle. So we can see he's been attacked. Let's have a look at the combat reports. So it's R for the combat report. We can see our Mace Dwarf, our Militia Captain, our other Mace Dwarf are all gone in there. There's 3 of them hitting him at the moment. And it gives you literally a running battle of it. So the Mace Dwarf attacks, he charges the Mace Dwarf, the Mace Ettin misses the Mace Dwarf, he's been dodging, he's been practicing his dodging well, then he collides with him and he knocks, the Mace Dwarf's knocked over, tumbles backward, the Ettin misses it, but he just scrambles away, the Mace Dwarf, it's all happening. Remember, he's got that bronze scimitar actually. The Militia Captain has, the Mace Dwarf's got a birchen spear. These are all just weapons that I've been purchasing, and they're continuing on their fight. Hopefully, there's a lot of blood going on. I'm hoping one of our poor dwarves aren't going to get taken down here. Oh, it looks like the Ettin is bleeding. Let's have a look at him. He's being slashed away. He's been stabbed out. Look at all these pages and pages and pages. And it can be very descriptive of what happens. The Mace Dwarf latches on firmly. He's actually biting him. The Mace Dwarf bites the Ettin in the right upper leg, tearing the skin, bruising the fat. The Ettin breaks away from the grip in the upper front tooth from the Ettin's right upper leg. And so the Mace Dwarf's upper front tooth from the upper leg, I think he just broke off. His tooth broke off on the Ettin. Oh, the Ettin's making a run for it. I think he's going to try and get away here. So the battle for the Ettin is continuing on. You can see the blood stream now. He's starting to try and get away. They're hacking away at him. There is 6 dwarves, I believe, on him. And, well, we get pulled away from the action. I'm guessing a caravan has arrived. Well, that's marvellous. Do you mind? We're in mid-battle here. So the Ettin battle commences, and you can see he's finally been struck down. So let's have a look at the combat reports. It is the wrestler's been attacking him. You can see they're diving on him there, and it's the Ettin we want to look at. So the Ettin's finally been struck down by the looks of it. What finally brought him? He's having trouble breathing. There we go. The Ettin misses the wrestler. He's having a little go. The Ettin's grip on the wrestler. And looks like who's got the actual killing blow here? Militia commander stands up. Let's have a look at down. Militia commander's had a good go. The militia commander stabs the Ettin in the right lower arm with a bronze scimitar, fracturing the bone. The ligament has been torn and the tendon has been torn. Looks like the militia commander may well have had a good go at him. He didn't get the killing blow though. Is it going to tell me who got the killing blow? That's the question. That's what I'm looking for. The wrestler latching on, biting the little bugger. Swords dwarves are digging in there. Swords dwarf, they're all sticking the swords in. The whole lot of them there. We're all on him. And he's finally succumbed by the looks of it. So that is it. The Ettin is down. Go about your business, ladies and gentlemen, as the Ettin is dead. Let's have a look over here. I think we're going to see dense pools of grass, pools of the dead, lots of dead wrestlers there. And there is his corpse. There it lies. It's coating of his blood. And we can have a look at it. It's forbidden at the moment. We can get the contents of blood. We don't really want the contents of blood, do we? We don't need that. I've got to be honest. And that's it. So that is the Ettin down. We can tell our squad to return to duty. They've done their job. They need to go back active, really. So we want to A. And well done, guys. You can cancel the kill now because he's dead. And that's it. There they go. Back about their business. Just in time for the caravan. The caravan comes in, sees all the blood everywhere, and is thinking, "What the hell happened here? I thought this was a metal industry area." So now we just want to tell our guys to go back to about their business. So we want to close the alert. So it's going to the alerts, and we can tell them to go back inactive, and our civilians can go about their business. That's it. Civilians are going back to inactive. We want to keep that down there just in case if we tell it we're under attack, the civilians will all pull back into that burrow again. I'd also like to tell the civilians to come out there. The military's active and training. So that's it. We're back in action. And all the dwarves will now come back out and start going about their business and cleaning things up. They're going to pick up the Ettin corpse probably. And Ettin dealt with. Meanwhile, back to our metal industry. We'll get onto this guy in a moment, but the metal industry, like I mentioned, and now that we've built our forge, we can basically go ahead and start building any sort of metal we want. We want weapons, we want armor for our dwarves. So it's the same as always. Add new task. You got weapon and ammunition, armor, furniture. If you're really opulent and you've got lots and lots of metal, you could make furniture if you like. Siege equipment as well, trap equipment and other options. Trap equipment's actually like spikes and such like that, so you got these giant iron axes that you can put in traps, the weapon traps that you may have seen. I think the best ones are actually the large serrated iron discs, if I'm not mistaken. I think they do the most damage. You can check that all out in Dwarf Wiki, but for now we just want a couple of weapons. We've only got iron. We've not got any steel yet, so because for that we need to make pig iron, and I don't believe we can do any of that at the moment. Pig iron is actually down here, so no, it's not. I lied. Where is the pig iron? I think the pig iron's maybe at the smelter. Yes, it is. Pig iron's at the smelter. But for now, we're just going to make some iron weapons, and we're going to get a couple of a couple of maces maybe. Let's knock out 5 maces since our dwarfs. The 6 maces. Since they've done such a great job. So that's it for metalsmithing, pretty much. You can take it from there. I'm going to set up a weapons area just above, and also an armor area, so we can place our weapons and armor in here. I'm going to make them steel only, or rather basically non-leather, etc. Go to the settings, same as always, go down to armor. It's the metal, we only want metal. Other materials, we don't want any of that. Nothing of that material, so we're going to forbid that, and that's all you need to do. Everything else is set. Same for the weapons. Down to the weapons, get rid of other materials, and that's it. So, oh no, there was stone in there as well. We don't want any stone weapons in this area. We're not building any stone, so we forbid that. We only want metal weapons. Trap components are fine in there, and weapons. So there it is. We now have our area to produce metal. So produce whatever you like. Like I mentioned, if you want steel, steel's generally the strongest. Obviously there's adamantium in there as well. You can go to your forge, and I believe pig iron is down here somewhere. Yeah, so you can also make coke as well. Coke obviously is the same, similar to charcoal. If you've got, say, lignite, bitmus coal in there, which is basically a different type of ore that you will find, is where you can make that. And again, these bars, we're making different bars. You can do that. It's basically combining different metals. Again, Magma Wiki is the way forward here. Say pig iron and steel bars, so which is where you'd make them at the smelter. We can't make them because it's going to say you need your flux stone. We haven't got any flux stones because you've not found any yet, and you need refined coal. So we need to find flux stone basically. We haven't come across any, but it's not the end of the world if you don't have any. You have iron, so you can get the basics up. Steel is obviously better, but we don't have it yet, so it's not the end of the world. So that's pretty much it for blacksmithing. I'm going to go deal with the trader, and thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back next one. We're possibly getting to milking cheese, and I believe somebody also requested bee making. So bee making, bee honey, I guess it is. So beekeeping is the word I'm after. This is Deman bringing you the Dwarf Fortress tutorials. Thanks for listening.